life, the bright lights, the type the crowd likes. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Magic at Hornets, NBA Shot Clock, Friday, April 5th, 2024. A top lean in this game, Orlando minus 11.5. This is the fourth matchup this year between these Southeast Division rivals, with domination coming on the side of Orlando, as Orlando has ascended this year to the middle of the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Now, unbelievably to most, including myself, only two back of the 2 seed, as Milwaukee has cratered down the stretch. They are currently tied with the Knicks at the same record, 45-31 for the 4-5 seed split, which is very important for home field advantage in the first round. This has been domination, as I mentioned. Orlando 3-0 ATS against Charlotte this year by margin, and this is another game expecting Orlando to win by minimum 15 points against truly a gutted Charlotte roster. A top lean in this game leans for every game on NBA Shot Clock. Take Orlando at minus 11.5, and let's cash this ticket.
Thunder at Pacers. Junior Brown back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, April 5th, with another free pick, and we're rocking with the under 233.5 in this Pacers Thunder game. This is really just a fade of the Oklahoma City Thunder, whose offense is down 50 points per game with the absences of SGA and J-Dub, Jalen Williams. They got 2 Jalen Williams, so we call the good Jalen Williams J-Dub. The Jalen Williams that's left over, he started the first game that those two missed. Didn't really work out. They sent him back to the bench. And their starting lineup has just been a mess. Offensively, it's only a 2-game sample size, so not really easy to make any definitive conclusions, but you know what you're seeing. The offense is averaging 104 points per 100 possessions without those guys, which is kind of to be expected. Prorated over an extended period, that would be the worst number in the league. Do I expect them to play like that every game? No. They probably even play a little better tonight against the Pacers, who don't defend that well. However, if you're paying attention like it's our job to as cappers, the Pacers defense has improved significantly since the first half of the season, so it's another reason why I lean towards the under. And of course, the way that Oklahoma City can even stay in this game is by slowing down the pace. If they decide to get into a track meet with this Indiana Pacers team, you're going to get blown out the gym. So everything about this game leans me towards the under, especially the starting lineup that Oklahoma City is using right now. Got a couple of non-shooters out there, which is really not how they want to operate. They're a team that basically plays 5 out, dribble handoff, dribble drive, drive and kick. There is none of that available right now. So the under 233.5 is the official. Let's cash yet another ticket, y'all.
Blazers at Wizards, 7 o'clock, Capital One Arena in Washington. A top lean in this game, Portland plus 2.5. Washington is 6-2 ATS, last 8 at home. Honestly, too hot. And small window too hot. 2-0 ATS last 2. A huge outright win against Milwaukee on Tuesday, followed up by a backdoor cover on a back-to-back against the Lakers, where it seemed like Kyle Kuzma entered the lineup late in the day to get some revenge on his old team. Washington returns to an environment they have not been very good in this year, a home favorite. The last time they were a home favorite, it was against bottom feeder Detroit, and they were favored minus 3.5 and lost by 9 outright. Portland has been excellent on the road this year at the Eastern Conference, specifically against the bottom feeders. Portland is 3-0 ATS and straight up. Outright wins at Toronto, Detroit, and Brooklyn. And Washington certainly fits into that point of conversation. An Eastern Conference bottom feeder. Washington did beat Portland on the road on December 21st. But a key point on that game Washington won by 1 point, getting 72 points combined by Kyle Kuzma, Daniel Gafford, and Tyus Jones, all who were not expected to play tonight. Expect revenge, expect the continued upward momentum for a young Portland group on the road. If you want to bet this game, take Portland at +2.5, and let's cash this ticket.
Heat at Rockets. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, April 5th with another free pick. Rocking with the Rockets. I hate how that sounds. We're rocking with Houston +3 against the Heat. Both teams playing in a back-to-back, but Miami playing with a back-to-back, travel included. Rockets have lost 2 in a row, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's any reason to overreact to that. They had just won 10 games in a row, so at some point, they had to come back down to earth. Their effective field goal percentage during that 10-game run was insane. So the fact that they've slowed down a little bit is actually very normal. They're 8-2 in their last 10. And I just believe they're a better team than Miami right now. Miami did not look good yesterday against Philly, a very banged-up Philly. A Philly that just got back Joel Embiid, but is still without Tyrese Maxey. And I think the Rockets' new starting lineup, which is basically 5 out, run and gun, get up and down the court, is a style that doesn't suit Miami on a back-to-back situation. These Rockets players, they're all kids. They don't need a ton of rest to get up and down the court, and they've shown that they're determined to push the pace now that they don't have Şengün, and I just feel like it's just a bad matchup. Like, Kyle Lowry against this Rockets backcourt is a disaster waiting to happen. Again, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. I don't want to get into each individual matchup, but I just don't like Miami in this situation. I prefer the Rockets, who have been playing well for an extended period, catching points on their home court. That's the official play. Give me Rockets +3. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.
Kings at Celtics, 7:30. TD Garden in Boston. The buy hat is engaged. 2 top leans in this game. Boston first quarter and Boston -9. Boston remains at home off a blowout win the other night against Oklahoma City, to where they have performed great all year against the West. 9-4 ATS at home and 4 non-covers, all in sequence in January versus Denver, the Clippers, the Lakers, and New Orleans, all situational. Shooting outliers, melts, star removal theory, you name it, Boston couldn't figure it out. But outside of that 4-game sample, they are 9-0 ATS versus the other conference. And they're finding Sacramento in a purely awful spot. A 3rd-4 road back-to-back off a huge win at home the other night against the Clippers. A melt in the 4th quarter last night in New York City. And now a game against the best team in the league, who they did get blown out by earlier this year in their own gym in Sacramento. The Kings are 4-9 ATS on the second leg of a back-to-back. All of their covers coming in situational points that were advantageous for them. This is not that. Sacramento is coming in here off an outlierish first quarter last night in New York. A 15-point lead after one, 35-20. This team is terrible on the road at the Eastern Conference in the first quarter. Last night, they just couldn't miss a shot. They can't rely on that again, a total outlier, and Boston should do what Boston does and come out with authority with the starters in the first quarter. 2 top plays in this game, Boston first quarter and Boston -9. The buy hat is engaged. Let's dominate.
Pistons at Grizzlies. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, April 5th with another free pick. And we're rocking with the Grizzlies -1.5. Of course we are. These 2 teams just played the other day, and I told y'all, what planet do we live on where we're laying points with the Pistons? The Grizzlies are the better basketball team, and you're getting the better team on a short line. I still believe that's the case. I have this game graded as Grizzlies -3. I'm getting Grizzlies -1.5. As a capper, it is my job to take advantage of all sales. Am I telling y'all to max bet this shit? Nah. Is it my favorite bet of the day? Nah. But there's value in this Grizzlies team. After they beat the Pistons the other day, they went into Milwaukee as double-digit road favorites and one outright. This is a proper team with a proper coach who should get way more respect after somehow picking up 26 wins with this MASH unit that he's working with. You compare that to the joke of a job that Monty Williams is doing in Detroit, it's a no-brainer to me that Memphis is the better coach, better roster right now, because remember, Detroit's missing 3 starters. They're missing their only competent player, Cade Cunningham. They're missing Fontecchio. They're missing Asar Thompson, who's a do-it-all defender who can fly around the court and cause havoc. They got none of that, and they're trash with them boys. So get this team out of here. If you're telling me that this is a revenge game spot for the Pistons again, you must have information I don't. Hit me up on Twitter, JR Browne on Twitter, and please, Browne with an E at the end, by the way, and share that information because I'm going to need to know it. I still wouldn't bet on the Pistons anyway, by the way. Give me the Grizzlies, -1.5, official play. Let's cash this ticket, y'all.
Knicks at Bulls, 8 o'clock. United Center, Chicago, Illinois. A top lean in this game, Knicks first quarter. The Knicks come into tonight's game off an outlierish first quarter home loss last night against Sacramento. A game in which Sacramento bizarrely annihilated the Knicks, 35-20. Really just far too hot from the field. Not a showcase to the Knicks' futility as opposed to just purely an outlier. This is only the third home road back-to-back of the year for the Knicks. And the Knicks are 2-0 first quarter ATS in the second leg on the road. Very noteworthy cover at Boston in the first quarter in November 13th. Boston, a great first quarter home team. We can't say the same about Chicago, who has been very poor at the United Center this year in the first quarter and is coming off a layoff all week, not having played since Monday night, which should not play in their favor in terms of shooting the basketball. We expect the Knicks to come out here with some juice in the second leg of a back-to-back, not wanting a repeat of last night, maybe not being able to come back in the game. By the Knicks in the first quarter, the top lead in this game, the buy hat is engaged. Let's dominate.
Raptors at Bucks. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, April 5th with another free pick. We're rocking with the Bucks team total over 121. Best bet of the day. Listen, I know the narratives around the Bucks are as negative as possible, and rightly so. Doc Rivers was supposed to come in and fix things. I'm not really sure who believed that was going to be true. It has not worked out that way. Their offense is still very good, and they're playing against a Toronto Raptors team that has absolutely no interest in winning basketball games. The Raptors are on an L15. During that span, they're losing games by 19 points per 100 possessions. The Bucks average about 98, 99 possessions a game. So this line is actually kind of short if we're going to go by that logic. Again, I'm not getting involved with a situation where I'm laying 15 points with this Bucks team that can just lose to anybody on any given night. I'm really just asking them to be average. They average about 121 points per game on the season. During this L15 for the Raptors, they're allowing 123 points per game. So I'm not asking the Bucks to do anything special. Just asking them to go out and do what the last 15 Raptors opponents have done, and is score over 121, and to do what they do on a consistent basis, and to score over that amount as well. It's not any more complicated than that, which is why it's my play of the day. If the Bucks have any pride whatsoever, this shouldn't really be a problem, because again, the Raptors are basically coming out and just laying down for 48 minutes. I say all that to say, let's end this week on a positive note by cashing another ticket, y'all.
Warriors at Mavericks, 8:30 p.m. in Dallas. A top lean in this game. Dallas in the first quarter. Both teams coming into tonight's game on back-to-backs. Expecting a reversal for both teams from last night's first quarter outcome. Dallas is a great first quarter team at home, and last night against Atlanta, Atlanta beat them outright 31-25 before Dallas got their legs with a 40-point second quarter. This is the fifth back-to-back this year for Dallas, played in their home gym. They are 3-1 ATS in the first quarter in this spot. And as I mentioned, we're expecting a reversal for the Warriors as well off a heat check first quarter last night in Houston, 33-24, where the Golden State Warriors were shooting close to 60% from the field. This is a Dallas revenge game, having lost at the Chase Center earlier this week, 104-100, and Dallas will be ready early, also needing the game for a logjam at the back end of the Western Conference playoffs. Top lean in this game, if you guys want to gamble on this game, take Dallas in the first quarter, and let's cash this ticket.
Spurs at Pelicans. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, April 5th with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Spurs plus 10.5. It's really hard to lay 10.5 points with the Pelicans as presently constructed. Without Brandon Ingram, their offense has been really struggling for efficiency. I don't think it's just Brandon Ingram. It's not like their offense is lights out even when he's in. I just think that his absence has coincided with a few guys having shooting slumps. I think that they can play their way out of it, but I just think to lay 10.5 points with this team the way they're playing right now doesn't make sense to me, especially with an improved San Antonio defense. Make no mistake about it, the San Antonio offense still stinks, but their defense is creeping up to now top half of the league with the improvement they've shown over the last 2 months. Victor Wembanyama, by the way, has not had a good game against the Pelicans this season. He's averaging 16.5 points per game against this team on less than 50% shooting. One thing I love about this kid, he's mad petty. And I know that he is going to come out wanting to give his best effort with this being the last opportunity. He has to have a good game against this Pelicans team. And the nail in the coffin for me is Zion Williams' questionability, or being questionable. Sorry. If he's not playing, or he's not playing at full strength, with the way this offense has struggled, it's just impossible for me to lay 10.5 points. I'm one of the first people to want to lay points in the first half with the Pelicans since they're the second best first half team in the league, but I just can't do it with the way they look right now and with San Antonio's improved defense. So give me the Spurs plus 10.5. I think the Pelicans win this game, just not by margin, which is why I'm taking the Spurs plus the points. Just cash another ticket, y'all.
Timberwolves at Suns, 10 o'clock, NBA TV in Phoenix. A big-time matchup, a playoff preview potentially, a top lean, Minnesota plus 3.5. Phoenix has dominated Minnesota for years, going 11-2 straight up last 13. And this is a generational shift in front of our eyes. Minnesota currently sitting with the 1 seed in the West, and Phoenix scraping for the play-in tournament with aging players and the emergence of Anthony Edwards as the league superstar. Phoenix has beaten Minnesota 2 consecutive games at the Footprint Center. One tight one last year, 107-100, and a blowout this year on November 15th, 133-115. Key point in that game, Minnesota was in a brutal spot. 3rd and 4, road back-to-back, at Warriors, at Suns. Just a dead zone spot for the Wolves. And Phoenix took advantage, shooting 51 for 85 from the field, 60%, and outscoring the Wolves by 36 points in the three-point margin. 2 metrics you can't expect to repeat tonight. And books agree, moving the line down from -4, 18-point win, to -3, suggesting at the most a Phoenix victory by 2 points. A top look on the late card, Minnesota plus 3.5. Let's dominate.
Jazz at Clippers. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, April 5th with another free pick. We're rocking with the Clippers team total over 118. The Jazz defense is horrendous. Since the All-Star break, they're allowing 122 points per game. Even before the All-Star break, they weren't great, but at least before the All-Star break, before they gutted their team and they made all these trades, before they started tanking on purpose, they were a team that actually could compete. They're not interested in competing. We know how Danny Ainge likes to operate, so I'm not going to pretend to be smarter than him. If he feels like gutting the team was the best move, then more power to him. But as a capper, I used to be on Utah prior to that. Now they've been a fade team for a couple of months. And in this situation, I'm taking the Clippers offense because of this. Now, the Clippers are 12-11 since the All-Star break, which is not great, obviously. But they've been able to win those 12 games because of their offense. Their defense is the problem. They're 12-11 because their defense since the All-Star break is 28th in the league. That's the third worst in the NBA. However, their offense has been the 7th most efficient during that span. That's how they've still managed to pick up 12 wins. I say that to say Utah, again, has no interest in defending, allowing 122 a game. The Clippers sat out Kawhi Leonard last night. I'm going to assume that he's going to play tonight because I haven't heard any situation or any incident where he injured his knee. It just seemed like a precaution because they knew they were in a back-to-back situation. And what do? Their inconsistent asses go out and beat Denver without Kawhi Leonard. So give me the Clippers, who are still trying to round into playoff form, who are nowhere near where they want to be with the playoffs only a week and change away. I expect them to come out motivated. If there was ever a get-right spot for this Clippers offense and for this Clippers team in general, it's this Utah team who has absolutely no interest in competing for the rest of this season. Give me the Clippers. Team total over 118. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.